music is really important to people. It's everywhere you go. You'll hear it in grocery stores while you're walking, on advertisements on the radio. You'll hear it in the backgrounds of movies. So even if you don't personally seek out music, it will find you somewhere. So, you can have a deeper appreciation for music when you learn an instrument. This is my instrument of choice. It is the harp, and I learned how to play when I was young. You might recognize it from lullabies or Irish songs or in orchestral pieces. Those are common places that you'll hear the harp. I will show you some of the ins and outs of this through showing you the strings and how they work, through the technique of holding it, and then I will show you a song. So let's begin with how the strings are put together. Here's a smaller harp. These are both lever harps. And it's called a lever harp because of these. It makes it so this note, an out of tune C, will become a sharp out of tune C. So if I wanted to tune it, I would take this, which is the tuning stick, and put it on the peg at the very top here. And I would twist it to be sharper if I wanted to by going this way. Which it's a better C now, because I tuned it a little. But when you twist it, it makes the string shorter and tighter, which will make it higher. And when you loosen it, it will make the string longer and looser, which makes it a lower note. The long strings are the lower notes because they vibrate slower. They're not as tight. And these strings up here are tighter. They vibrate faster, which makes it a really high note. When you put a string on, you come up through the bottom. This is the baseboard here. And you tie a little string around it, and then you pull it up, and you twist it around one of these pegs, kind of like how I was tuning it. And that is how you put a string on. It's important to keep up with it, so it'll stay in pitch. And, let's see, these red strings here are C's, and these blue strings here are F's. And, we know the, kind of like alphabet letters that get put to the sound of certain strings are A through G. So this is an A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So those are the names of the strings. Now I will show you some technique. So when you play for like an orchestra in that kind of formal setting, you play with this kind of form of your hand because you always come back to it. If you're doing like an octave, you reach like this. If you're doing a triad, you'll use these 3 fingers. If you're playing all the strings, you go like this. But it always comes back to the little roof on top, the 4 stories, and it all laying flat. It's very important. So when you play, it'll always land on this part of your thumb, and it will not be collapsed, and these will land flat. And when you sit at the harp, you have your back straight, you have your shoulders right, you have your elbow, so it's staying up like this. That's really important because if you collapse it, it'll make your strings buzz when you play them. And when I was little, they used to put a little stuffed animal on your arm so it wouldn't fall off, and you'd have to play again. So you hold it with your knees, not your arm, and it's on the right side. It's on my right shoulder. And we have the shoulder good, we have the back good, we have the elbow good, we have the wrist in, important, and we hold it at an angle when we're going to play, so that we play with like a certain little part of our finger. And then when we close, we have it closed like this. And that's the general format of how to play one note. And then that'll translate into a triad, which you can do all sorts of ways, which is pretty fun, which is how I'm introducing the next section, which is a song. That was a triad, and it's pretty cool, and it can embellish songs. You could play the left hand of doing the triad in different ways, along with the melody, which you could play with your right hand, which would be the higher part. That's a pretty basic format for a lot of our songs. And the one I'm going to teach you today is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So, you start with the right position, of course, and you play the C twice, which is the red string. Then you go up one above the black string, which is the F. The black string's F, but we're going to be playing G. And then we're going to play the A twice, and the G once. And then we gesture up towards the top here. then the F twice, and then the E twice, then the B twice, and then the C, and then you gesture. And that is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, the beginning part, and I will play it for you again so that you have a little bit more of a flow of it. And I'll do that triad shape, so I'm going to be playing 3 notes, but I'll be bum 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 bum. You'll see. There we go. So there's the basic song with a little embellishment, which is kind of fun. And now we've learned the strings, how they fit together, how they work, what their names are, and how to tune them. We've learned the format, how you hold yourself, how you have your hands, and the notes of the song, which is very important. And I hope you guys really enjoyed that, because it's a really fun instrument to play, and if you ever get the opportunity to, I recommend you doing so, because even if you don't know what you're doing, you could just do glissandos, which is like... Sounds like something, doesn't it? You could do that. Easy. So, if you get the opportunity to do so, you should play the harp.